Okay, let's see if this video gets uploaded. Or will it be the 5th video I've recorded in a month-ish that just kind of sits there? If I'm ever like unsure if I should upload something, I probably won't. You know, just better that way. So, this will be a mistake. But like I believe I've said before, unless that was one of the ones that wasn't uploaded, I from the looks cannot be stopped, not even by common sense. Sometimes I just have to talk about it, even though it could cause an absolute shiitake storm. Cause fanboys. I don't think I did anything the first time. But now there's an update. And I'm quite miffed, putting it mildly. If you feel that I'm about to be a bit too harsh, no, I'm not, in my opinion. Also, I'm going to be a little bit harsh because I've been in a similar situation before. And let's just say I felt it. So if you're not in the VTuber sphere, I don't really blame you. I'm just kinda in it myself. Got a couple of VTubers that I watch, you know, their VODs, and I watch anything live. There was a situation a while back, like March, April, something like that. When a well-beloved VTuber named Sinder was outed as being, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, evil. I believe it started with an artist releasing DMs where Sinder and her manager slash boyfriend read. They were basically trying to strong-arm the artist into working exclusively for them. Issue was, the artist was working on some assets for other VTubers. Many of which were friends of Sinder. Which I believe the artist was told to... I don't know if I'd go so far to say sabotage. But I think that was the word that was used. I'm gonna say half-ass. And don't worry about it. It's just business. Quote, Sinder. Google Docs started flying all over the place. To this day, I'm not really sure what that is. But I'm guessing it's documents connected to Google somehow. Sinder released a Google Doc as well, where she basically threw Red under the bus and said he would not operate as manager anymore. And I believe that was about it. Because like Sinder said, it was just business. Now, in my opinion, stabbing your friends in the back while lying to their faces, pretending to be their friends, is not business. The thing is, this is where I've had a similar experience, as in my teens I started getting letters and visits from the police. Apparently I was quite the bad boy. I had been reported for breaking into places. I don't know what it's called in English when you like draw things in public places with like one of those paint cans. Breaking things and so on, like windows. Like in my teens, I had a permanent record of things I hadn't done. One day, I was being interrogated by a police officer that didn't give a shit about evidence or witnesses. And what I said. He knew I was guilty. After being shouted at and reprimanded and threatened for a good 45 minutes, another police officer steps into the office saying that they had to move out because now they were going to catch me, as they had just received a report that I had broken into the school here, the elementary school in my hometown. When Officer Asshole asked when, I'd broken in there about 10 minutes ago. like I said, I had been in interrogation room for 45. So at that point, I would have been interrogated for about 35 minutes. Roughly mathed. At this point, they found out that, hey, there's a possibility that I'm innocent. Now they cared what I was saying. I was allowed to hear the phone call, or the recording, because that stuff gets recorded. Recognized the voice immediately. It was a childhood friend of mine. After they did some investigating, they came to the conclusion that it was always the same voice. A friend, quote unquote, that while this was going on, pretended not to know anything and pretended to be my friend. Meanwhile, he was doing all this stuff. He would then call the police and told them he saw me do it. So business. Stabbing your friends in the back. Business. Look, if being an evil bitch was a business, I would not be struggling financially now, because I would be cracked at that job. Anyways, I heard there was an update. Couple of sources. Apparently Sinder's back. And from what I understand, they claim it was all lies. People were lying about her being evil, more than a little bit psychotic and manipulative bitch. You know, I guess all the evidence and leaked screenshots of DMs were lies. Is it possible? Sure. But I heavily doubt it. Why? I believe it's called basic human psychology. I hate to break the illusion. Sinder is not a hellhound with a heart. She's a horrible, horrible human being without one. The cute, lovable hellhound I used to watch every now and then was a lie. The thing is, if it was lies, basic human psychology would dictate that she would refute the lies immediately. Her career was going down the shitter, and if it was lies, she would have attempted to disprove that immediately. A human will not take that lying down. They would lose their job. Their lives would potentially be ruined, as losing your job has a tendency to cause a domino effect. Guy in my hometown. He used to work as a cab driver. From the looks of things, not the sharpest crayon in the tool shed, because he was caught speeding, either multiple times or severely. Got too many marks in his driver's license and lost it for 6 months. Lost his job, because you can't drive a cab without a driver's license. His relationship went to shit. Broke up with his girlfriend, or she broke up with him. Had to move out from where they lived. Had to move back in with his parents. The guy's like 40. He was stuck working at the convenience store for a while before he just kind of vanished. In a week, max, his life went to shit. And it all started with him losing his job. Losing your job is not a small issue. And if you lose your job due to lies, you would fight back. Do everything you could, even lawyer up, to prove that it was lies. What you sure as shit wouldn't do is vanish for 4 to 6 months and then come back with another supposed Google Doc. I am of the belief that it wasn't lies. But Sinder and Red needed 4 to 6 months to workshop a way to convince people it was lies, so they could save Sinder's career and Red's job. 'Cause you know, he's still behind the scenes, operating as her manager. That was just another potential lie, attempting to defuse the situation. Pin it all on him. Imagine having a job, and one of your co-workers just hate you for whatever reason. Sexuality, skin color, political beliefs, religion, just pick one. They just hate you for no real good reason. One day you get fired, and you find out they lied to your boss, hoping that you would get fired. Human psychology would push you to disprove the lies. Not leave, vanish for 6 months, and then come back saying they were lying, and then hand out something resembling proof. You would try to take care of this the moment you found out. Am I wrong? I don't know, could be. Sinder might be the only person telling the truth. Very possible. But I doubt that so much, I'm just going to say it outright. No, it wasn't lies. And I believe it would have been better if Sinder just stayed gone. You ruined your own career. Take responsibility. And sure as shit, don't double down, trying to make other people the bad guy, when it's this obvious that you're the baddie. Find a new job. You're done. Hopefully. If I never hear about this person ever again, I would be so happy. But I'm sure my recommendations will be spanned with this now. Thanks, YouTube.